Good morning to you. Good morning to Mr. Daku, Mr. AJ, and our viewers. I must say that I agree largely with the submission of Mr. Daku. You see, I think that as a nation, we've taken our economic growth for granted. Just 2 weeks ago, or last week, I was in Kigali, just because of my upcoming book launch, the promotion. I was in Kigali. Look, their airport is so small that British Airways doesn't go there. Delta doesn't go there. As a result, they are now building a new airport. Is it Bugazera Airport? It's about 15 kilometers from
their current airport.
No, from this country. One of their neighboring countries. I'll get it for you.
DRC.
No, not DRC. I'll get it for you. So the point I'm making is that, as a nation, because we are developing, we are growing, we seem not to notice it. We seem not to notice it. And if you travel across Lome, Benin, you see that Ghana, we have really come far from and this development cut across various regimes. Under the President Kutor era, we had this this road, the Mall Road.
The N1.
Time, yeah, at the time, they had to even broadcast this on how to use it. For weeks, people were confused. They say, we'll get missing. They had to advertise it. Yes, they had to advertise it. The Ashama Tema, initially, I schooled in Tema, Medas. Initially, you use under bridge. The cars passed under a tunnel to Tema. To Tema. But now there's a flyover. Because we've expanded as a nation, you see this N1 question touching that we're all happy about. Now you see it as small.
It's not serving the purpose anymore. So
in fact, there's an active work ongoing to expand it.
Yes.
And I think Maripoma are the contractors on that.
Yes. I'm just trying to let you know how far this country have come. Some of us, most people did their degree in Lagos. At the time when you're going to school, you see how narrow the road used to be. Under Professor Moss, we expanded it. So what I'm trying to say is that, yes, there are some challenges, but in terms of economic growth, trust me, we've come far as a nation.
I asked you the question on the economy, so I'll take that for an answer. But should a nation's progress be only measured on how fast or how precise it's able to build its road? What about the issues around inequality, right? Where the gap between the rich and the poor is ever so increasing, right? You come to issues around empathy. A 29-year-old is hit by a car on his motor. He has to go to 3 hospitals. All of them deny him beds. None of the doctors, none of the nurses even bothered to come out and check on him. But when we needed someone to confirm he was dead, then a medic was able to come out and do that. So, yes, you may say that, well, we've made progress in terms of infrastructure, right? And I'm sure you say your government is even promising to do a big push and all of that. Fair enough.
We'll come to all of that.
Fair enough. But on the other issues, on empathy, on inequality, can we proudly say we've made progress?
Yeah, so like Mr. AJ was pointing out to you, when you talk about development, you have both soft development and hard development. The issues about roads, infrastructure, school buildings, those are the hard development. But soft development includes what you've mentioned in terms of the economy, how people, their welfare. It also includes democratic stability. Now, on the issue of equity, that is a structural issue. And I tell people, Jude, today, if you become a minister or you become a chief executive and you have to approve recruitment, your family people will come and tell you that, look, maybe you have to help them. That's what they will tell you. And in fact, we're in a country that if you leave power, your people, without making any substantial, they don't see you to make any substantial resource. Your own performance, oh, this person is useless. So what's the expectation? No, these are the facts. They will tell you, oh, this person got this position, then ultimately, he's useless. He couldn't do anything. So we need to change our culture, our mentality, our mindset. In foreign dispensation, some of us who had the privilege to do our masters in the US and tour the world virtually, you will see that former government officials, you go to the mall and there are some of them ride bicycles and all of that. Quite recently, Boris Johnson, video popped up on social media when he was riding the bicycle after he went to the mall and all of that, and people were surprised. They are surprised because in Ghana here, even for some persons to be in traffic with us, we've been in this country before. Yes!
They'll start blazing the siren.
Exactly.
Disturbing everybody.
Exactly. So I think that these are cultural issues in our mindsets as a nation. And I'm happy that these topics are not topics that are political. We need to look at it as a people. The direction we want to chart is very important.
Amazing. Elvis.
Stating earlier, Ghana, we've made some progress. But that is not to say there are not challenges. There are challenges. In fact, one of the key challenges that have faced this country under the Fourth Republic is youth unemployment. And I must say that the National Youth Employment Program, which was started under President Kufor, was a response to a national security report that there's a possible upcoming uprising by the youth. So quickly they had to get something in place to give people a job. And at the time, they were paid tabletop. That was how the NYEP started. Professor Moose moved it to JIDA, and then later it was given the parliamentary backing, Act 887, and it became the Youth Employment Agency. So over time, both governments have tried to solve the issues of unemployment. As to whether it's off completely, that I cannot assure or say that unemployment is moved out completely, but we've seen progress. Now, another thing that we should look at is government not fulfilling its promises. The previous government, for example, said 1 district, 1 factory. Some of us were very happy when they said 1 district, 1 factory. We thought that, look, it's a way to industrialize this nation. 1 village, 1 dam. But all these promises has not been honored. So if you see President Mahama honoring his promises, then it tells you that this is how policy should be done about fulfilling your mandate, your promises. In respect of this youth unemployment that I told you, we had promised the Ejumara program under the National Entrepreneurship Innovation Program. It's been delivered. Over 34.5 million Ghana cedi was put into this program last year, and it's translated into this year. The National Apprentice Program, over 21 million Ghana cedi has been paid. So in spite of people's perception that this government is not spending, we are actually spending, but we are spending wisely.
The Women's Development Bank.
Yeah, so I'll come to that. Before you put up a bank, you have to make sure that the current bank is strong. You know, the previous government went into the business of collapsing banks. You understand? We had invested in such a way that the National Investment Bank, we are pumping some money so that it's become very strong, so that it's not collapsed. And the previous regime, some staff of the National Investment Bank were given offers to pick the money and leave the bank, because they thought that there was no way they could revive it. But as soon as we came into power, we had pumped some money into the National Investment Bank to make it solid, to pave way for the National Women's Bank. And many more. The no stress-free policy, as promised, has been delivered. You understand? So, by and large, we need a political party, a government that will honor its promises. That's what is key. You talk about the 1 million coders program. I mean, the government is still in session. If he admits that, some laptops have been promised or have been delivered and not all, it means that there's more room for improvement. No two ways about it. But that is how government is run. It's not a one-stop shop. It's a process. And for me, one thing that is even refreshing about this government, we've gone over a year without a single scandal. And this is the first time that under a Fourth Republican government in this country, for over a year in government, there's no scandal. And that tells you the integrity of this government. And we are committed. We are committed to not just ensuring economic stability, but also to ensure equity among the citizenry.